Hi, my name is Yi Xiang. I'm a computer science student and I'm staying in Cryfield Standard. From the price perspective, Cryfield Standard is pretty cheap at around £100 this year. And the good thing about Cryfield Standard is that it's quite close to main campus. It's like 2 minutes from the piazza, so it's really close to main campus if you're staying, or if you want to stay on campus. The good thing about this place is that it's also quite modern, so the facilities and all is pretty new compared to the other accommodations in Morit. The problem with the Cryfield Standard is that the room is pretty small. Like, it's just your bed and then you have a couple wardrobes, and that's really all you have. Not a lot of room to do other stuff. The other problem generally with sharing with other people is that it can be quite noisy sometimes, and some people can be quite inconsiderate, like parties and stuff. So around this floor there's around 20 people, and in the kitchen there's around 14. In terms of cupboard space and fridge space, there's no like set rule, but generally speaking, each person will have one slot in the fridge and one slot in the freezer. And for cupboard space, you just kind of take your own spots, and for me, I took 2 cupboards at the start of the term, and like after a couple months there was still some remaining, so I took the remaining cupboards. So there's a toilet in the middle of the floor, so it's like near the stairs. Essentially the entire floor uses it, and for this year, because of COVID, it was separated into like rooms, so one toilet will be allocated to maybe 4 or 5 people, and so what we're supposed to do is like 5 people only use one toilet and one shower. So there is this place called the Cryfield Hub. It's like a minute walk from where I am right now is where we do my laundry. And it also has like a cinema room and a music room and other cool facilities that's free for Cryfield Standard people to use. My classes are at the computer science building, so it's around a 10-minute walk. But I have a bike, so it takes around like 3 to 4 minutes. I guess the most important aspect is the price. So you obviously need to like figure out which accommodation you want based on price. I guess the second most important thing is the location. So whether you want it to be a nice place at Lakeside or you want it to be like near main campus. And I guess in terms of like living with flatmates, you gotta pray a bit because of the RNG. You might get like really noisy people, you might get like really clean people, so you don't really need to worry too much about that. Just choose the price and the location that you want and look through the images and ask your seniors, I guess.
Hi, I'm Jeffrey and I'm studying Masters in Management, and I live at Cryfield Townhouse. So what I like about Cryfield is that the location is very nice. It's near the gym, it's near my school, which is WBS. It's also near the piazza where we can get grocery, we can have food, preps over there. And the other thing about Cryfield is that it's very new. It's relatively new compared to other accommodations such as Lakeside or Heron Bank. And with that, you get better facilities around, and our bed is one of the biggest in campus. And also with the ensuite bathroom, I don't have to share with anyone, so that's what I like about it. So one thing that I don't really like about Cryfield Townhouse is that it's because the room itself is pretty small and the furniture placement is kind of wacky. Like I have a wardrobe over here, right smack in the middle of my room. I don't know why. And also that wardrobe itself is open concept, so it can accumulate dust very easily. And regarding that, so we have less walking space altogether. And other than that, one other thing that I'm kind of concerned about is privacy. As you can see probably later on that once we open our blind, other people can peer into our room easily, and I don't think that's very nice. Yeah. I share the flat with five others, and in total we have our own cupboard spaces, and also in the fridge we have like ample space to put our items, and also additional freezer just to deep freeze some food items as well. And the kitchen itself is relatively big enough and nice enough to accommodate all six of us at any time. And with that, we also have storage spaces that we can use in the storeroom that every one of us have access to. So living with five others is not a problem here in Cryfield Townhouse. So the toilet is actually a very small squarish box kind of setting. You don't get a bathtub, you just get a standing shower head. And then one concern that I really dislike about the toilet is that there is no drainage on the floor. So cleaning the toilet itself is really difficult. I have to do dry cleaning, gotta wipe down different surfaces with cloth and just water itself. And I don't get to spray it down because it doesn't dry up. And another annoying thing about the toilet is that the light turns off automatically. So if you're in the shower for a long time, sometimes it just turns off by itself out of nowhere. Yeah. So for townhouses, fortunately we have our own washing machine that can do both washing and drying. So we don't have to go to the residence hub to do our laundry, and it's free of charge. We can use it any time of the day. And just got to check with our flatmates and probably allocate a time slot for each of you. And then what you need to do is really just to buy your own detergent and then just pop it in and you can use it. So unlike other Cryfield accommodations such as the Standard or the Studio, we don't have to go to the residence hub to do it, which I think it probably costs about £3 to £4 for both washing and drying. Yeah. So for me to get to business school, it takes about 7 minutes in total, including walking to my class. And if I'm really late, sometimes I just sprint over. I can do it in 2 to 3 minutes. So relatively convenient location. So I think personally I prefer ensuite bathroom a lot. And another tip that I will give is that location is really important, because if you already know which building you will be frequently using, you should find a strategic accommodation that is placed in a very close proximity. Like for example, for myself, it's Cryfield because it's near the gym, it's near the school, it's near everything else. And some people prefer Claycroft. Claycroft is near Tesco, because if you do grocery shopping, for myself, I have to walk about 1 hour in total, like going there and coming back. Yeah, so for others, if you prefer closer proximity to Tesco, you can choose like Claycroft or Tonsil, that kind of accommodation. Yeah.
I'm studying Life Sciences and Global Sustainable Development, and I'm staying at Westwood. I think the biggest thing is really just like the size of the room, the size of the bed, and the size of the windows. Because it's really far out, they can afford this space, and it's just really nice to be able to have like such a huge amount of personal space to yourself. And I also like how it's quite surrounded by nature, in the sense that like it's just a nice, like, how do I put it, a nice step outside of like city life, which I'm not a big fan of. Yeah. It's so far from everything. That's really the biggest thing, that like Westwood is really far from everything else. Like it's just its own like isolated cluster, and that makes it really hard, especially coming home at night, because not a lot of people live here as well. So if you're worried about your own safety, then it is an issue trying to find someone to walk you home, and it just feels a little bit unsettling as well. Plus the amount of time that you have to like take into consideration in order to like get to classes on time, as well as whether you need to pack food or not. It's all things that you have to add to your time, and basically you substitute time for the amount of money that you spend on like your accommodation. Okay, for Westwood itself, there are like two different kinds of clusters. So the cluster that I stayed at, we share a kitchen with 12 people maximum, but there are also Westwood blocks that share a kitchen with up to 17 people, which is what's listed on the website, I believe. You don't actually get to choose whether you share it with 12 people or 17 people, so it's really luck of the draw. For me currently, I'm sharing my kitchen with 9 people because Westwood is not that popular of an accommodation. Therefore, we do have some empty rooms. And so it's quite nice because our kitchen is really big. So we have quite a lot of space, which is able to accommodate all of us thus far. If anyone does come in, there will be a lot of moving stuff around. But so far, everyone has at least one to two shelves in the fridge as well as freezer each. We also have like one small shelf per person plus a bigger shelf to store all our kitchen equipment. I would say that the toilets actually remind me quite a lot of like school toilets. So it's just like different cubicles where we just like, it's a shared toilet where we just go and, yeah, it's like a school toilet basically. I think in my accommodation block itself, there are 4 toilets shared among maximum 24 people on the floor. And then because it's like a school toilet, if like one of our toilets is being cleaned, then we can go to like the floor below or the floor, like the different floors of the accommodation. So usually it's never a case where you really have to like queue and wait for the toilets, which is quite good. For the shower areas itself, similar concept, also like a school toilet in that sense, and there are about 4 showers per floor as well. My laundry room is located within the block itself. I believe that is the same case for every single block in Westwood. However, I don't know if this is a common theme, but we only have 1 washer and 1 dryer in Westwood, like in this block itself, shared among the 3 different floors. So especially on busy days like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it can be a case where you're just constantly waiting for people to like get their laundry out of the washing machine or the dryer, and people don't collect their laundry on time as well, so it's just really a lot of waiting around, or they could leave it overnight as well, so it's not great. The laundry situation is not great. Okay, so I am a life sciences student, therefore I have classes on Gibbet Hill, which is a campus which is slightly further out from Central Campus. So I also have classes on Central Campus itself. So from Westwood to Central Campus, it would take me about 15 to 20 minutes depending on which building I have to go to. But for Gibbet Hill, it would take me at least 35 minutes to get to class. I think all the basic things that you want to consider would be, first of all, the cost, as well as the things that you find important. Like for me, what I found important was being able to access like basically grocery stores because I didn't want to have to carry everything like back long distances. So the distance to Tesco was more important than the distance to school. Yeah, and on top of that, like just in general, the amount of time that it takes to get to classes would be a really big thing as well. And possibly also the vibe of the hall in that sense, because like Westwood is more of a quiet block, so the people tend to be a bit quieter as well, which is something that I prefer. But there are also like different halls which have their own like reputation, I would say. And if like that's something that you're looking for, then you can like look into that and like chat with people